The pre-release Tavern Brawl is live and kicking, and you could be farming yourself quite a few packs even if you don't have any new cards. Vicious Syndicate has you covered with so many different decks you could be using that have barely any new cards, and even if they do have new cards, you can definitely swap them out for something old, so you can still do well even with your single free Tavern Brawl run. In this video I'm gonna go over all the decks they provided and talk about them so you have a general idea of what you should be expecting out of them. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, a like and subscribe would be amazing, and definitely check out Vicious Syndicate and support their work. Now let's check out the decks.
You are not prepared!
So here we have it, decks to try out on the pre-release Tavern Brawl of the Across the Timeways. And I think they covered every single class, starting off with Frost Death Knight. We also have Quest Demon Hunter, Aggro Druid, Quest Hunter, Quest Mage, Aggro Pally, Quest Priest, Quest Shaman, Quest Warlock, Shred Warlock, and Quest Warrior. And most of these decks do actually have barely any of the new cards, so that even those that haven't been buying mega bundles and regular bundles can actually have a shot at getting themselves some pretty good results. And I even built myself a few decks that did very well with barely any new cards, so it definitely is pretty doable. Let's start off with Frost Death Knight, and I definitely did see quite a few of these on ladder. The deck is decently aggressive, it has decent tempo, but it's more of a mid-rangey deck. It is running 2 blue and 1 green as you see, and this allows you to be running things like Horn of Winter, which definitely can help you tempo out a lot faster than you're supposed to. You also have some big payoffs like Marrow Manipulator, and you can tempo out with things like Reanimated Pterodax. We're also running Elise in here, which is not exactly very easy to do, but yeah, we do have one from everything between 0 and 9, which is also one of the main reasons why you have Ragnaros in here, which is your single 8-drop. With Elise you could be going for the 5-mana location a lot of the time, going for a copy plus a bunch of 2-1s with Rush could be good, or 2-1 Rushers plus 2 attack is also pretty great, that kind of stuff. But yeah, all around this deck definitely looked pretty solid, and the only new card here is Time Stop, which is just a common, so surely you should be able to get that even from the free packs. The next deck is a Quest Hunter, and yeah, Quest Hunter definitely received a lot of support out of the new expansion, a lot of odd attack minions out there, with which you can be completing the quest a lot easier, and we do have quite a few new cards in here, but there are no more than rares, I believe, or I think they're just commons, like here's one of them, the Arrow Retriever. We also have the new card Storm the Gates, which is actually an event card you could be getting for free, so that's pretty nice. The new Paltry Flutterwing is a rare card you could be including, but it definitely is worth it, because it is your 1 attack minion for the quest. The new Cyborg Patriarch has a free attack minion, a Beast Mech actually. We also have Sandmaw, which is a new 7 attack minion. Ravenous Matriarch is also in here, but that's an old card. And one thing I'm noticing is we actually don't even have Devious Coyote in here, which definitely is worth it. It is a new neutral card, this guy, and it's only a common, so if you're feeling like you're missing the 5 attack mark, a Devious Coyote could help, even though we do have a few that cover that slot for you, but not that many actually, so yeah, the Coyote might be worth including, because you only have a couple of Matriarchs and King Mukla, so this guy could be a good inclusion indeed, but all around this deck does curve out quite nicely. Quest Mage is also something you could be giving a shot at. I didn't really see much of it yesterday for 5 hours of pre-release Tavern Brawl, so take it with a grain of salt, like there was just not that many out there, but no, now that I said it, I did see a mage that did have the quest plus historians and whatnot, so yeah, it's out there, but it's not as strong as it is in Standard, and in Standard it's not that strong either, so there's that too. But if you want to be playing mage, this might be the deck for you. It is minion based, so you could be actually discovering quite a few minions instead of just spells to get for free randomly. And again, it doesn't have all that many new cards. We have Alter Time, which is a pretty cool new spell. You could be discovering arcane spells from the past, and arcane spells from the past do include things like Ice Block, by the way, so that can be pretty cool. And we also have the new Mirror Dimensions, which definitely buys you a lot of time, but that's about it. There's not really anything else new in here. Not very new, at least. We have the Portal Master Vanguard, but that was not that new anyway. I know Aggro Pally is doing really well in the current brawl, so if you want to be getting some easy wins, Aggro Pally might indeed be the way to go. You still have access to Crusader Aura, which definitely is quite the big selling point here, and the deck all around is very quick. Like, look at this, 10 1-drops, 8 2-drops, 3 6-drops, and only 4 4 and 5, so there's that too. And let's face it, the Devious Coyote is far from a 5-drop. You don't have too many new things in here, aside from Living Paradox, which definitely feels okay, and the Devious Coyote, which also can be dropped very early, especially if you do something like, let's say, turn 2 or 3 muster for battle. If all of your idiots attack, you can be dropping a Devious Coyote basically for free or very close to it. We also have Hatching Ceremony in here, with which you could definitely be buffing your idiots a lot easier without actually having to worry about setting things up. Like, you play this on turn 2 or 3, and on turn 3 or 4, you zerg the board with a bunch of your cheap stuff, and all of them are gonna be getting the +2, which could be pretty nice. I actually did see quite a lot of Quest Priest out there, and it felt strong, guys. It actually felt strong, so if you ever thought about playing Quest Priest, this might be the perfect time to do so, cause God knows in Standard, it ain't worth shit. In terms of new cards, we really don't have all that much, aside from a Whelp of the Bronze, and also Gravedown Voidbulb, which is absolutely broken, by the way. Like, this thing high rolls so much, it's not even funny. Literally cost me one of my 6 runs, cause the Priest high rolled through his little asshole, but it do be like that sometime. But yeah, other than that, we don't really have too much new stuff in here. The deck does curve out surprisingly well, and once you get the quest reward, well, it becomes a little bit on the broken side. You are running Resuscitate in here, with which you could be basically winning the game on the spot if you have it fully loaded. Not many decks can actually handle something like this in this Brawl setting. Quest Shaman actually felt really good in this Brawl, but I didn't do very well with it, so keep that in mind. I did try this exact list, and it felt a little bit lacking in terms of, I don't know, like, it just could be a little bit on the slow side if you don't get your good stuff nice and cheap, but you can also high roll a lot thanks to things like the Slack Claws in here. They did fairly well for me. What we have in terms of new cards in here, just a couple of Chill Spine Stegodons, but they really are great. Like, being able to deal 2 damage to a couple of random enemy minions, and also being able to actually freeze them if you manage to keep the chain going, which most of the time you should, can be pretty nice indeed. But other than that, we don't really have anything else new in here. You complete the quest fairly quick, like you could literally be playing the quest reward as soon as turn 6, heck, even turn 5 if you get extremely lucky, but that doesn't happen all that often. Cards that felt a little bit on the lacking side would be the questing assistant, because them not having a tribe really doesn't feel too amazing, so if you're trying to fit something else, this card might be worth the cut. The 2 youthful brewmasters are in here, so you can potentially bounce your quest rewards, and that can give you a lot more extra bonus effects. And be smart about the bonus effects you pick, because you are kind of spending half your game trying to get those, so you better make sure they are worth it. Sadly, Quest Warlock is kinda ruining the experience for a lot of players out there right now, and this is still actually a pretty busted deck out there. Even though half the deck is not in this Brawl, the core of it is still in here, including things like Cursed Catacombs, like the Solarium. Platosaur is also in here, even though he is not giving you a temporary card. Don't get baited by the animation, it's not a temporary card, guys. But you're also running the Tunnel Terror, which indeed does give you some temporary cards in the form of a couple of 2-cost minions. New cards in here would be Rafam Ladder, and that's literally about it. But yeah, you still actually get to complete the quest even as soon as turn 3. I've heard people complete it, so it still could be quite the high roll. Even though it is missing a lot of its really important pieces, you still get a lot of good temporary stuff like Cursed Catacombs, Blood Petal Biome, the Solarium, and a couple of Tunnel Terrors, but you no longer have the Snow Flurry, which definitely did high roll here and there. I did actually try a couple of iterations of Aggro Druid, and both of them did not do super amazing. The first few games were incredible, and after that it flopped like really hard. I see Vicious Syndicate have a different version of their own, and maybe this would work better than the one I tried, but take it with a grain of salt if you face a lot of control decks like Control Warriors, Control Priests, heck, even Warlocks with Hellfires. It might not be that hot for you. And in terms of new cards in here, we have a couple of Devious Coyotes again, and that's literally about it. The rest of the deck is basically a bunch of the cool aggro druid stuff that never really actually got the pick up. And don't get baited into thinking the quest is gonna make this deck better, guys. It's an absolute bait. Like, imagine spending your first turn every time playing this card trying to fill your board for 3 turns later, like you're an aggro deck, guys. If you didn't win by turn 5 or 6, you're probably not winning at all. And even if this gives you a chance to win a longer game, it's gonna cost you the chance to win faster games a lot more, so don't even pretend this card is gonna be good for you. Anyway, the deck could be very quick, like I did get myself quite a few turn 5 lethals, but it also does flop quite a lot against control decks, so keep that in mind. If you did manage to open yourself a few more packs out of the new stuff, you might actually give a try to this Shred Warlock, which does look quite interesting, but you are gonna need at least 6 new cards in here. This one is actually the deck with the most new cards in it, but they're mostly cheap. We have the new rare Entropic Continuity, and we also have the Techian Barrage, which is just a common. The common Twilight Time Hopper is also pretty good. Living Paradox is also in here. Couple of rare Fate Breakers, 2 more Devious Coyotes, and again, common Ruinous Velocidrakes. So yeah, there's a lot of new cards in here, and this is a pretty aggressive deck, but it also does slap you in the face a lot, so be careful. You might actually damage yourself a little bit too much with this one. And also, if you got lucky enough to get yourself this guy, you definitely should be including it. I guess they cut it out just for the sake of keeping it nice and cheap, but yeah, Chronoger definitely does feel like a good inclusion. I'm not sure how strong this deck would be. It does look like it is going to be taking way too much damage and doesn't really have any ways of healing, so I'd be very careful playing this one. Without any solid lifesteal plan, I'm not sure this one is gonna do all that well, but if you're up for it, you can give it a try. And the last deck from the Vicious Syndicate article is gonna be this Quest Warrior, which actually did ruin quite a few runs for me, not gonna lie. So yeah, you might want to give this one a check. It basically is a super hard control-y deck. It doesn't really have all that much in terms of being able to kill you, but it does a great job of not dying, so there's that too. If you're facing Rafam Warlocks or something like that, you might want to include yourself something like a Dirty Rat in here, because that is gonna ruin their entire game plan, but they can still probably take you out with tempo, because the Rafam decks actually do have quite a lot of gas in them. The Rafams on their own are actually pretty solid, but their deck is quite messy right now, because 40 cards is very hard to handle. Anyway, what does this deck have in terms of new cards? We have a couple of Unleash the Crocolisks, which is a pretty helpful card to be having, especially since we are running a couple of brawls. Shelnado is definitely worth mentioning, and even though this is not a new card, it definitely feels like it is great for the first time now, because it's so much easier for Warrior to be gaining armor in this format, so they can spend it and wreck your entire board. We also have For Glory, which is a new card, which draws you 2 cards and costs 1 less for each minion your opponent controls. And that's about it for the new stuff. The rest is control warrior action, and at the end you do have the quest reward, so you do indeed have a pretty good end game plan at the end, but mostly you are just trying to survive, and after that the quest rewards take the wheel. Actually, no, this is not the last deck. I forgot to mention the Quest Demon Hunter, which I actually did face one time, and surprisingly, I did lose. I'm not sure it was this variant, because I didn't see, for instance, Primordial Drake or Nomelia, but all around it was actually pretty solid. It does do a good job of completing the quest decently quick. You do have quite a few things that they're dealing 2 damage, and now, after they buffed the quest a while ago, you only need to be dealing the damage 12 times, but it has to be on your turns. And after you do that, your quest is gonna be giving you Garishi Colossus, which is gonna be dealing 2 more damage each time you deal 2 damage to something for the enemy. I still believe it's kind of a sin that this thing is this expensive without any taunt, battle cry, rush, lifesteal even or something, but yeah, it is what it is. I guess it's not gonna be getting better for standard at least, but for this brawl, if you want to be experiencing some Quest Demon Hunter, this might be the deck for you. Other than the Time Lost Glaive, I don't think we have anything else new in here. No, we actually do have... Nah, the Horn wasn't new, so Portal Vanguard is the other somewhat new stuff, but everything else is from before, so if you had this deck, or you're thinking about crafting it, it might be competing well right now. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Check out Vicious Syndicate's article from the link in the description, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm also gonna upload some of the runs I did well with from the decks I built, but that's gonna be a little bit later today or tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.